Hi, I'm Zahra. I am a nutritionist, beauty therapist, and a health and wellness coach. Today, I'm going to be talking about all the different types of restrictive diets. So, with all this content out there, with all the different types of diets, it can get quite confusing. So, I'm here to share with you very clear-cut categories of different types of restrictive diets. I have compiled 4 different categories. These include calorie restrictive diets, macronutrient restrictive diets, food restrictive diets, and time restrictive diets. Now let's jump in to the specific diets that are included within these categories. Before I get into all these diets, I would just like to say that if you want to follow any of these specific diets, please consult your healthcare professional or a nutritionist or a dietitian to make sure that it's the right diet for you. So firstly, the calorie restrictive diets are the most popular form of diets when we think about the word diet. The 2 types of calorie restrictive diets are low calorie and very low calorie. The low calorie restrictive diet is specifically consuming less calories than you need to maintain your body weight. And so for everyone, that's a different number. So the very low calorie diet is restricted to about less than 800 calories a day or less than 3,300 kilojoules a day. Moving on to the macronutrient restrictive diet. As the name suggests, macronutrients being protein, fats, carbohydrates, this type of diet restricts a specific macronutrient. So in the macronutrient restricted diet, we have the ketogenic diet, which is a low carb diet. And the specific macronutrient it's restricting is carbohydrates. Low carb diets also tend to be high fat, and the idea behind that is to get into a state of ketosis. We also have the low fat diet in the macronutrient restrictive diet, and as the name suggests, the macronutrient being fat is restricted, and the amount of fat you consume is controlled to under a certain amount. Now we are going to talk about the food-specific restricted diets. There are a few different diets in this category. There's the vegetarian diet. In a vegetarian diet, there is no consumption of animal meat, but it does include milk or dairy and yogurt and cream, butter, and it also includes eggs, which is in contrast to the vegan diet. In the vegan diet, the consumption of any animal products is restricted, including eggs and dairy. Another type of a food-specific restrictive diet is the raw vegan diet. So, in the raw vegan diet, without restricting any other macronutrients, it basically restricts any animal products and any cooked products. And so basically it's just fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and having them in their uncooked raw form. So the pescatarian diet is also a food-specific restrictive diet. In the pescatarian diet, it's similar to vegetarianism, but they do include the consumption of fish. It includes dairy, it includes butter, it includes eggs, and that's the pescatarian diet. The other type of food-specific restrictive diet is a lactose-free diet. A lot of people choose this diet not even by choice, as some people are lactose intolerant. There's options these days where you can get milk that is lactose-free or lactose-free yogurt and lactose-free cheese, but some people following the lactose-free diet just choose to not consume dairy at all. Now, we have the gluten-free diet, which is also part of a food-specific restrictive diet. This diet is followed by people who are suffering from celiac disease, or they may have some sensitivities to the gluten that is present in wheat, rye, or barley. The gluten-free diet is gaining a lot of popularity these days. A lot of people find that they have like an inflammatory response from gluten, and so they choose a gluten-free diet to mitigate the inflammation effects. Now, This is a little bit of a controversial diet, but it is also part of the food-specific restrictive diet, and that is the carnivore diet. Now, we've gone from the one extreme of being completely vegan, where you only consume non-animal-based products, to the carnivore diet, where it's only animal-based meat, nothing plant-based whatsoever. So in the carnivore diet, they consume meat, organs, so it restricts the consumption of any plant foods, and it's a completely meat-based diet. Another type of a food-specific restrictive diet is the FODMAP diet. This diet specifically restricts the consumption of certain carbohydrates. The FODMAP diet also gets recommended to people by dietitians who are suffering from certain illnesses and diseases that may find relief from restricting specific carbs from their diet. Now, we are up to the last category of time-restrictive diets. These types of diets are gaining a lot of popularity within the people who want to lose weight in a healthy way. In the category of time-restricted diets, there is intermittent fasting, and there is a lot of different types of intermittent fasting depending on your length of the eating window and the fasting window. The most popular form of intermittent fasting is the 16-8, which means that for 16 hours of the day, you are fasting, and for 8 hours of the day, that's your eating window. And so what people normally do, they'll have an early dinner and a late breakfast, so that while they're sleeping and before they go to bed and just after they wake up, they are in a fasted state. And this can have similar effects to the ketogenic diet in terms of inducing a state of ketosis. The other forms of intermittent fasting, we have 24, in which 20 hours of the day you're fasting and 4 hours of the day you have your eating window. We also have OMAD, and OMAD stands for 1 meal a day. And this type of time-restricted eating includes only having 1 meal a day, and for the rest of the time you're not eating anything. You can drink water, or some people choose to drink caffeine. Another type of time-restricted diet is called the alternate day fasting diet. And in this diet, you have your feasting days and you have your fasting days. It basically alternates between fasting and feasting days. And in the feasting days, you can eat whatever you want, however much you want. And on the fasting days, you're consuming less than 500 calories or less than 2,000 kilojoules in that day, or you can choose to consume nothing at all. Now, the last type of the time-restrictive diet is called the 5-2 diet. This one is not about the hours in the day, it's more about the days in the week. And in the 5-2 diet, for the 5 days of the week, you're consuming a very normal diet, just what you regularly consume. And in the 2 days of the week, you're consuming a very low-calorie diet. So now that we've gone through all the different types of diets and how they work, please let me know below, what types of diets have you tried? Did you find them to be helpful? Did you learn anything new from this video? Was there a diet in there that you've never heard of? I'd be curious to know.